All right. It's 6 o'clock somewhere. I'm Gabby Mack, and I don't apologize for saluting all my veterans, active duty service members, all policemen and women, and all firefighters. You know, the ones that put it all on the line every day. Their sacrifices allow you and I to express our First Amendment rights. Now, with that being said, let's get it out of the way. Tonight's subject, I'm calling it the Justice File. Now, I think that police men and women in general get a bum rap. No one likes them until you need them. But you see, nobody talks about the number of policemen and women that are killed while protecting the public. So I'm going to take that opportunity to speak up for them. In 2019, there were 89 officers killed in the line of duty. Now, that number increased by 96% in 2020, even with COVID going on and all that. There were a total of 264 officers killed in the line of duty. Now, I don't hear a whole lot of reporting on that, but you know what? Let there be a negative interaction between the police and an alleged criminal, and the police become the devil. You see, the little thing that everyone carries around nowadays, the cell phone. Let's talk about it. You see, that little device has allowed everyone to become an instant reporter. It's ensured that whenever a negative interaction occurs between the police and the black community, it will most likely be captured on tape. And that incident will be played over and over and over again. And if it's juicy enough, it'll be picked up by the media. Now, the media job is to get as many people to watch their broadcast as possible. So, if it's something that's sensationalized, they're on it. After it's over, or the interest seems to wane away, it moves on to the next hot topic. So, when a tragedy occurs in the black community, the media rushes in to capture reactions on the ground. They like the hyperbolic, inflamed reaction from the community. And true to form, there'll be 3, 4, 5, 6 people crying, yelling, and demanding justice. Now, if you were an unintelligent person, you might come away thinking that all police officers were doing was riding through the black neighborhood, shooting any random black person they came across. Here's Gabby Max 25 cents. Cops are my friends. There, I said it. And if you don't like it, too bad. Throughout my life, I've known a lot of police men and women and other law enforcement types. And I've come away with a general conclusion. You see, some of them see what they do as just a job, a way to better their life. Others see what they do as a societal quote-unquote calling. And the rest fall into the category of just carrying on a family tradition of being a police officer. Now, at last count, there were roughly 696,000 full-time police officers in the United States. And although I respect the really hard job they do day in and day out, not all of them are good officers. Some are bad. But overall, I believe most of them want to serve their communities to the best of their abilities. And they will respond when you, your friends, or your neighbors dial 911. Now, the U.S. population is roughly 350 million. Of that, 46 million are black people, or roughly 15%. Now, let's talk about the black experience with police. You know, most of us will never have any kind of interaction with police officers in our lifetime, except when we call them for help. You know, to stop a burglary, or someone being killed, or just to restore peace between you and your neighbor. Now, with roughly 46 million people in the United States in 2019, I looked at the statistics, and it said that during that same time, there were 2,902 black homicides. Not people just committing suicide or jumping off the building or being burnt in fires, etc., etc. And police officers were involved in 259 killings involving black people. That comes out to roughly 1%. And during those interactions, weapons were involved 83% of the time. Now, if police were involved in 259 people, black people being killed, how do we explain the other 2,643 deaths? No, homicide. Let's call it what it is. That means someone took the life of someone else. Homicide, murder. Well, we did it. We black people killed each other. And that's absolutely crazy. Now, one of my theses is that I blame part of the problem on the matriarch family that dates back to the 60s. And the result being sons being raised by single women. Now, what I mean by this, without the influence of a male in a young boy's upbringing to keep him on the straight and narrow, he won't learn what it truly means to be a man and all that comes with it. I believe a boy will emulate what he sees in his father. And I hope that a good father will teach his son about conflict resolution. That every disagreement doesn't have to result in a fight or running to get a gun. At least I hope that's what a good father would do. And if that were true, I suggest that the number of black people killing each other would be drastically reduced. Now, the stats say that blacks killed each other at a 97% rate. So why do we in the black community give this so little attention? Because it's always easier to point the finger at someone else. But we have to address the subject as objectively as possible. We have to hold ourselves accountable and stop the madness. Now, you may disagree, and that's your right as an American. But what I've said is Gabby Mack's 25 cents, and I'm not changing my perspective. Gabby Mack, signing out.